This video is about 20 minutes long, and it was put together by Pac Bell at a conference that we had last April.
So, Dad, how was your dinner with Maddie?
It's tonight.
Yeah.
6 o'clock tonight.
See you later, honey.
Bye, Mom.
Hi, Des.
Hey, Michelle.
Got any muffins?
Blueberry or brown?
Blueberry.
Call Maddie Johnson.
Hello, this is Martha Johnson. Sorry I missed you, but won't you leave me a message? Please.
Hey, Maddie, it's me. I'm calling to confirm tonight, 6 o'clock at your place. Till later, sweetheart.
You can just wait, Mr. Desmond Elliott.
This is Michelle. Fighting. Well, is Hank okay? Well, then I should come to the principal's office? I'll be there as soon as I can.
Listen, where you taking Maddie tonight?
She's cooking dinner for me at her place.
Desmond, when are you going to actually take that woman out?
What are you talking about? I'll take her out.
This is Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, Michelle, are you still at home?
No, I'm at the work center. Well, there's been a problem with Hank at school.
I see.
It would help me a lot if I could
Work at home today.
Well, do what you need to do.
But you know what we're up against. I need to have those numbers first thing tomorrow morning.
Hello.
Morning, Mrs. Johnson.
Oh. Hello, Dr. Alvarez.
Mrs. Johnson, I'm calling because there was something a little unusual in your EKG this morning.
What's wrong?
Probably nothing, but I'd like to see you at the clinic today, okay?
Sure. I'll be there.
Bye now.
Maddie Johnson. Maddie? Desmond. Instead of you cooking for me, I'm going to take you out to dinner tonight. That's right. You know that little restaurant you've been talking about over there in the valley? Well, tonight's the night. So, I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock. Have any problems, you just give me a call. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Des?
You know why I hate fighting? It's a sign of stupidity.
He started it. He was out of line. You can ask anyone who was there.
Hank, I don't care what he did. I care what you did. You got yourself suspended. That's what's out of line. I gotta log on at work. You've got a penalty assignment to do with the kid you fought with, right?
Right.
Doctor, could we get the mitral valve just a little clearer, please? Okay.
You know, Des, flowers would be nice.
Beg your pardon?
Women like flowers. Just a thought.
Perfect. Perfect. Just hold it there for a moment, please.
This looks nice. Oh, sure, I got it in the card. Looking forward to.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you, Doctor.
Almost all Americans came from somewhere else. In this exercise, you and your partner will find out about each other's origins. First, determine the country your partner's family came from.
I don't believe this.
Look, let's just get this over with, all right?
You're from Japan, right?
China?
Hello?
Hi, Michelle. How's it going?
Fine. I've downloaded all the regional quarterlies and now I'm doing the corporate figures. So you should have everything you need by morning.
Call me if you need me. Don't work too late.
Thanks.
And he came here when?
1859. He came to work on the railroad. Hey, I got an idea. Look, check this out.
That's cool. If he was on that, he'd been here a year earlier. There it is. The HMS Balfour. Arrived New York, July 14th, 1882. That's the one Seamus was on.
So, that means that we were here before you were.
So,
So what do you have?
let me see.
Maddie? Desmond? Instead of you cooking for me, I'm going to take you out to dinner tonight.
Tonight?
You know that little restaurant you've been talking about over there in the valley? Well, tonight's the night. So, I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock. If you have any problems, just give me a call.
Oh, my.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
This looks nice. You through?
Mm-hmm. You?
Oh, afraid not. Can we go over it later, sweetie?
Sure.
Pharmacy.
Mr. Baker, hi.
Hi, Hank.
Yeah, what's the kind of ice cream my mom really likes?
Just a sec.
Des, chocolate pecan swirl.
I'll hold a quart for you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All I better get going. I'll get that. Pharmacy.
Hello, Desmond.
Oh, Maddie. Caught me just in time. I'm on my way.
I'm afraid I can't go tonight, Des.
Uh-huh. You fixed something already, haven't you? Well, that's okay.
I had to go to the clinic today.
Are you all right, darling? Maddie, let me see you. Oh, darling. Maddie, let me come over tonight and fix dinner for you.
Oh, sweetheart.
I'm so glad you're here now.
Life isn't always easy, but technology can help make it better. Working together, we can bring this vision home in the 21st century.
And our roads really only have one problem, and that is that people use them. Lots of people. We've got maybe 30 million people, more than 30 million people in the state now, and we're projected to grow well beyond that, perhaps to 50 or 60 million within the next few decades. And it's already difficult to build sufficient new roads easily, cheaply, or in time to satisfy our current passion for single-occupant vehicle use. And this task is going to get much harder in the future. Well, Caltrans's challenge is to ensure mobility for Californians while making the best use of the state's transportation system. And we think that to do this requires attention to demand as well as supply. Our transportation demand management program at Caltrans is concerned with people being informed about their mobility choices so they can select from a wide array of modes of transportation. And one of these modes is information transfer. Our department's vision for California's future says in part that transportation of information and services reduces the need for mobility of people and goods, and that California's increased population is accommodated in terms of its mobility while reducing congestion, improving air quality, and conserving energy. So with this vision in mind, we're pursuing a number of programs and projects that are aimed at learning how telecommunications can add value to our transportation system. We're doing this in partnership with other government agencies and with the private sector. We're conducting research projects and demonstrations that are being monitored and evaluated so we will know about the trip-making patterns associated with an expanded commitment to telecommunications technology. Telecommuting involves the work trip. That's a subset of all trips. And our inquiries into the strategic role of telecommunications for transportation demand is looking at the entire range of trip purposes. In addition to telecommuting, we're interested in distance learning, telemedicine, teleshopping, video conferencing, and any other applications of telecommunications technology that might influence transportation demand. Last April, Caltrans, Pac Bell, and some others co-sponsored a conference on this very subject. And it was clear from the conference that the top policy people in government and the private sector are very interested in how telecommunications can enhance mobility. And the video that we just saw was developed for that conference. And as you saw, the video portrays a future for California wherein ordinary people obtain considerable mobility through or with the assistance of telecommunications. The deployment of telecommunications technology can help people use rail, transit, and roadways much more efficiently, can help them get work done in central offices or at remote work centers or in the home, or shop by phone, or collaborate on projects from a distance, or obtain medical or other services at home or at dispersed centers. The technology to bring this vision to life is really not the limiting factor. Some of you may have seen a campaign that AT&T is carrying on where they're already starting to market the electronic highway. It's the You Will campaign. Could you raise your hand if you've seen any of their commercials about that? For those of you that haven't seen it, it shows things like reading a book from 3,000 miles away, or tucking in your kid at the airport. Your kid's at home in the crib with the nursemaid and you're at the airport on a business trip. Or sending a fax from the beach. Well, instead of technology, the obstacles to establishing and using the electronic highways really have much more to do with public policy. There's a debate about the role of the public sector versus the role of the private sector. There have been other debates about who has the right technical standards. The phone companies have the switches, but the subscription TV companies have the widespread cable distribution systems, and different regulations govern the phone companies and the cable TV companies. Also, people have been reluctant to go first. The applications aren't available because the infrastructure isn't available, because the investors can't count on the users who are not purchasing applications because the infrastructure is not available, and so on and so on. Now, this is not a traditional area for my agency, an agency that used to be California's Department of Public Works. I'd like to overwhelm you with the depth and breadth of our experience on this subject, but I have to admit that I can't. Not everyone understands the fundamental concepts of telecommunications as a mode of transportation. The terminology is unclear to a lot of people, and the ultimate outcome of our efforts is really very murky. So we're starting with projects that people are maybe inclined to accept as possibly legitimate, such as telecommuting, and we'll work our way through to the telemedicine, teleshopping, and other teletrips. In part, we have to do this because our primary funding source for these efforts is the Federal Highway Administration, which we call the FHWA. They will only let us fund certain kinds of projects. Now, this might change given the Clinton-Gore administration's expectations for electronic highways. I'm optimistic that FHWA will become a proponent of telecommunications as transportation. Now, turning to our specific projects, our outlook at the moment is a little bit like that of the Starship Enterprise, to go where no transportation agency has ever gone before. Caltrans wants to set a good example with our internal operations. We're unwrapping a new policy that will encourage employee telecommuting. We are in the process of expanding teleconferencing at our district offices to complement the video conference facilities we already have in Sacramento, Los Angeles, and Oakland. We are conducting demonstrations of advanced transportation systems, including traveler information systems, smart cards, and telecommunications technology so that we can enhance the delivery of transportation services. We're conducting demonstrations of telecommuting centers that follow through from our participation with other state agencies in a very successful pilot home telecommuting project. And this year, we have an expanded project list that's going beyond telecommuting to also look at the distance learning and community-wide applications. Now, here's a little summary of our current statewide projects. One area is residential area-based telecommuting. Starting in 1992, Caltrans has been conducting research on the potential for neighborhood-scale work sites to reduce transportation demand. Our focus is on eliminating the vehicle trip through walking, biking, or very short, maybe 5 to 10-minute transit trips. The purpose is to test whether or not locating a generic office in or very near the residential areas for workers, if that'll have a significant positive benefit in terms of congestion relief and energy conservation and air quality, as well as for enhancing worker productivity and providing opportunities for business development. We have project locations that include San Diego County, the Sacramento metropolitan area suburbs of Auburn, Roseville, Grass Valley, and Citrus Heights, and the cities of Highland, Modesto, and Santa Cruz, and maybe somewhere else. We're trying to very carefully match the office siting with the needs of the employers and their employees who live nearby. Now, our concept is really very different from the sub-regional centers that are intended to reduce vehicle miles of travel. And it's also different from the concept of satellite work centers that are very closely identified with individual employers. The second area of projects is in the mobility infrastructure. We have a number of projects with cities that are planning or considering improved telecommunications for their community. Modesto has decided to pursue fiber optics as part of its municipal economic development strategy. And they're partnering with us initially by way of considering a telecommuting center. The City of Davis has established a very ambitious project to interlink the residences, the workplaces, services, schools, and city government over the internet in a community-wide communications network. Caltrans is co-funding the coordination of this effort, which is going to be conducted through the UC campus, which is a very significant local employer. UC Davis will also be monitoring the results. We're also contracting with the Santa Cruz Redevelopment Agency on the feasibility of an improved telecommunications infrastructure as the city rebuilds from the Loma Prieta earthquake. Next is distance learning. Starting this year, Caltrans is looking at the trip making associated with distance learning. We have an agreement with the California community colleges to explore the feasibility of distance learning, particularly as it might be related to our concept of residential area-based offices. And that's because so many of the community colleges are located in or very close to residential areas. The Davis Unified School District is a partner in the community network project I just mentioned. And they're going to help us learn if the trip back to your kid's school to get the homework assignment can be accomplished through email. Distance learning is important not only with respect to school trips, but also involves trips associated with job training and retraining, which is particularly important as we go through defense conversion. The last area is workplace and workforce trends. Through a partnership with the San Bernardino Associated Governments, Caltrans is embarking on a project to consider trends in the Southern California workforce and the workplaces of the region's employers. Now, most central offices are underutilized to a great extent. Work days, work weeks, and work years are subsets of weeks, days, and years. Workers are often away from their desk for legitimate reasons. Sometimes they get sick, sometimes they take vacations. And the end result is the infrastructure necessary to support these underutilized commerce centers is really very large and costly relative to the usage. And besides that, corporations are currently downsizing or restructuring so that they can remain competitive. Now, these factors really do not produce a desire on the part of the employers to lease additional part-time office space for suburban employees or for them to buy equipment for their employees to telecommute from home. So perhaps the answers lie in completely rethinking the central offices themselves, particularly since the employees already live very long distances from their employment sites. Our project is going to be asking the regional employers to evaluate this concept for us, and we hope to determine if there are benefits for commute-related traffic congestion. At the April conference that I mentioned, Phil Quigley, who is Pac Bell's CEO, suggested that California is moving from being the Golden State to being the broadband state. And he said that Pac Bell will have an all-digital network by 1997 that will help support the deployment of a full-service broadband infrastructure in California by the year 2015. He likened the establishment of that infrastructure to the Interstate Highway Project. It takes many years to complete, but we can derive benefits while it's being built. Bill Dunkel, who was one of the conference speakers, suggested that the year 2015 is actually a bit modest, and he estimates a $3 trillion market opportunity awaits the business activity generated by the implementation. Now, as a planner, I think that the year 2015 is just around the bend, and if Dunkel is right about the potential benefit to the state's economy, then we are in for some changes of very major proportions. Now, clearly, the pace of change is going to be determined by the deployment of the infrastructure. We're hoping that our research and demonstration projects will point us in the right direction so the transportation system can rise to the occasion. We've enlarged our interpretation of mobility to include telecommunications, and we're now looking at the strategic value of the electronic highways with respect to transportation demand. In closing, I'd like to share with you some documents. You can obtain that video and a little brochure that goes with it directly from Pac Bell, and I've got their mailing address. If any of you want to come meet with me after our session, I'd be happy to provide that for you. They also produced a conference summary from that April conference, and I would commend this to you for your required reading list. You can also obtain this through Pac Bell. In my office, one of our projects that we completed last year was a promotional thing we did with the CEOs, the captains of industry, whose employees were likely to be knowledge workers. If they read this document and tore off a little sheet in the back, then we would send in this handy-dandy guide on how to set up a telecommuting program at your office. I can provide copies of these documents if you'd like to contact me. Just talk to me afterwards. I'd be happy to share that with you. Lastly, I'd like to tease you a little bit because I know so many people are over in the education thing, and some of you were kind enough to stay here. Another one of the projects that we're working on in my office is a transportation demand management curriculum that we are doing through the California Department of Education. This is a way to reach the high schools, the middle schools, and the elementary schools throughout the California public school system, a total of about 5 million people who, when they grow up to be adults, will hopefully be more responsible users of the transportation system than the current generation of adults. We're about to embark on that program, and I'd be happy to share information with you about that after this session. So I'd like to thank you very much for your patience and turn it back over to Larry.